Welcome back, listeners. You are listening to Passage to Profit, the Inventor Show on WOR 710, the voice of New York, with our special guest, Dave Knoll. This is Richard and Elizabeth Gearhart, and we are on to our final presenter, Louie Torres with UnleashedConsulting.com. Welcome, Louie.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure so far learning from everybody's stories and hearing their journeys. So as far as mine, it actually began with, like a lot of people with problem dogs, a disgruntled, feisty 10-year-old Chihuahua. Okay. And exactly. So my story is before I created Unleashed Marketing, I had a very successful marketing agency. I have a background in sales from my Wall Street days to my recruitment consultant days. And when I had an opportunity to learn about dog training, again, to establish a relationship with this angry little fella, I saw a huge opportunity in the market. And there was two things that I saw particularly in this market. I saw a lack of information and a lack of opportunities for these people that have a way with dogs and a way to communicate with them and teach other people how to communicate with their dog. The third thing that I did see in the market as well was with millennials, where it's kind of like, before you get married, before you get the house, the first thing that you do in your relationship now is you get a dog, before the kid. And it's all my friends have done it, colleagues, people that I went to school with. The first step is you get a dog to make sure that you're a good fit, right? So now we kind of look at our dogs as a part of our family. It's a little different than it was, 20, 30 years ago. And when you want your animal to become part of your family, there's a relationship that you need to build. So we send our kids away to go to school, right? Kind of. Some parents send them away, some, it's for their benefit. But, when your kid goes to school, they learn how to be socialized. They learn how to raise their hand before they speak. They learn manners, right? So if we want our dogs to be a part of our families, we should be doing the same thing. So it's, I had my experience. It was definitely an eye-opener. And with my business background, I saw a huge opportunity. I decided to rebrand my business, fire all my old clients, and go all in on Unleashed Consulting. And here's the crazy part. When I went all in, literally about a year ago, right before the pandemic hits. So it was a little scary when I decided to go all in. And now, I'm dipping into my savings, for our business.
So your business is actually marketing for dog trainers, right? So as a marketing person, you really narrowed it down to a very specific niche, but a huge niche. I mean, there's a ton of dog trainers out there and dog owners, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. So my previous marketing agency, I helped restaurants, accountants, big gyms, salons, all types of different franchises to the small mom and pop shops grow their businesses, scale to 7 and 8 figures with a lot of the marketing strategies that I have accumulated over, the last 5 years of owning Kingsley Media. And I saw the opportunity in the pet industry, and like you said, they just didn't know how to market. They didn't know how to get the information out there. And when they get their information out there, are they reaching their ideal audience? Who's the ideal audience? 80% of households in the United States have a dog. It's crazy. Like it's insane, but that's your market. Almost everybody.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it's so funny because our son and his fiance have 2 dogs.
Right. And their wedding invitation has them with their 2 dogs.
I'm sure one of them's going to be the ring bearer or one's going to be the flower girl.
So.
We haven't asked that question
probably
yet.
Be at the wedding, yes.
Right.
So it's really true, but dogs absolutely have to be trained, and finding a good dog trainer, I think there might have been, okay, Dave, was there a TV show about this before?
It's interesting because what I have just noticed and what Cleve has noticed, Cleve is the person I create shows with, is the amazing transformation in the last couple of years with when you go to a Target or a Walmart, how the pet aisle used to be, a third of an aisle or whatever. And now that it's like 5 aisles long, there's pet food, pet products, pet toys. And I actually think it hasn't even reached peak dog yet. Like, I feel like you're totally right. And there's this attitude now where the dog really is the first step. You are absolutely correct. And I have talked to so many people where they're out of their minds trying to train the dog in the first couple months. And I think, even though you were saying it happened during COVID, it might even be the best thing for you, because so many people, as they were sitting home during COVID, went out to get the dog. And I can completely imagine that all of the dog trainers out there have no idea at all how to reach people on Instagram or LinkedIn or anything. So I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, if we spend as much time training couples as we did our dogs, maybe things would be better off too. I don't know, but
Well, I'm guilty. I got a cat during COVID, so
What?
we get our.
well, neither one of us have been vaccinated yet, but we did notice that there are some apes in the Los Angeles Zoo who did get the vaccination.
So we're not.
So we're kind
important
of
as-
thinking about that and wondering what all
Yeah.
that means. But
Yeah.
my dad grew up on a farm, and an animal was food, and so things have changed a lot.
Just a little bit,
What
Yes.
do you offer? What are you actually, so if I'm a dog trainer, a local dog trainer, and all of a sudden I'm looking around and the market is growing and growing and growing, and I want to basically say, hey, I'm here. What are you offering them?
Great question. So originally, my bread and butter was Facebook ads. And when people think the term Facebook ads, they get all sorts of different ideas. I use Facebook ads when we work in their audience, and that's where they hang out, right? You want to go where your people are hanging out. And that's where we initially started. But the Facebook ad for me is really the tip of the iceberg. It's just to get a click. I won't bore you guys with the technical aspects of digital marketing, but I run them through a sales funnel with my technology, which includes email automations, text automations, the whole play that's going to create an opportunity, right? So when we talk about marketing, there's brand, there's, lead generation, there's so many different things that we can talk about. But for me, I like to sum it up in one word. And I think, Dave, you mentioned this earlier, opportunity. That's really all it is. Once the opportunity is created, which can be a phone call, it can be an email opt-in, now it's in the hands of sales, right? So marketing did its job. Some people get confused with marketing spilling over to sales. It's actually incorrect. As soon as marketing does its job and gives you the opportunity, now it's sales turn to go ahead and complete the transaction. So we offer pretty much, the Google side of things, the Facebook side, and it's all paid social is really what we focus on. We don't do any organic. Organic is great, but the system that we created is all about getting quick results, because that's the world we live in now. Everyone wants instant gratification, so we had to adopt.
Wow.
But that's what we offer. And then in addition to this, the marketing, what really makes us different was I had to figure out what I can do to keep retention, because marketing is great. And I can give business owners opportunities in this niche or any niche, really. But what it comes down to is that small businesses and medium-sized businesses don't have a sales process that they've tested and fine-tuned and they practice. So what I have done is I've taken my background and from my Wall Street days and from a recruitment consultant and owning a recruitment consulting business and helping these business owners understand sales. And I've created a program so when they purchase my marketing, they also get access to my sales course where they get to understand how to guide that person, how to nurture them, and how to close them on that opportunity. Especially in this niche, it's so massive because these people are animal people. They're introverted. They don't really like to interact with humans, and they have to learn how to do that and have to learn how to understand their needs and if they can solve a problem in the first place. And if they can do that, then there's no reason why they shouldn't buy their product or service.
Wow. I guess people in the dog business prefer dogs to people, right? I mean,
They do.
I think a lot of
that
people do.
sounds a little counterintuitive, but you're probably right.
But I think it sounds like you have a very powerful, well thought out program going. And you're right. Sales is so different from marketing, and people lump them both together, and they really are different beasts and are different pieces of the puzzle, shall we say. So are you working with people across the country now? Are you just in the US or how far is your reach?
We are over 100 trainers nationwide. We're in Australia, Canada, and the UK as well. So we work with trainers that do in-home training that don't have a facility, right? Just, kind of hustling and grinding and doing the local mom and pop thing, to franchises that have locations all over the country and have facilities and staffs of 20 to 30 people.
So Dave, what do you tell your clients about the sales process?
I mean, this is as we were talking about at the beginning of the show, the whole idea of thinking just outside the box. This is a brilliant example of it, in that we've all heard about people who are going to help you with your marketing, whether it's mostly, real estate agents, doctors, gyms, all of these things. Everyone needs help with their marketing now because it's so hard to get a leg up. But what did you do? You, because of personal experience, because of some thought inside your head, found a niche, a just outside the box that, there's the box of all these marketers that are out there to help people. But I had never personally heard of one before that was going to focus specifically on dog trainers. And that's the perfect just outside the box example.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of marketing people tell you who's your target audience, focus in, just go after these people. And this is the probably first marketing person I've met who actually really did that. Right?
Seems like a narrow niche, and there's so many marketing companies out there. I think this is a brilliant. I assume you like dogs too, right, Louis?
Dog dad, that's me. So I wanted to, just because Dave brought it up earlier, I wanted to bring this up. So when I imagine having my kid one day, I imagine going to the toy store and getting to play with all the toys that I grew up playing with and kind of being a kid again, right? So I don't have, my child yet, but I did go to Dave Target and I saw this little guy, and it's a Nerf gun that I can shoot these tennis balls out and my dog can play
brilliant.
fetch.
Brilliant.
Right? So
Nerf.
I'm the dog dad now. I'm on my puppy that I'm raising now. She's a 4-month-old blue heeler. My 14-year-old now Chihuahua is not the biggest fan, but they're starting to get along a little bit. But yeah, no, it just getting into this space has been amazing. It's a space that has had no guidance and no direction when it comes to marketing or sales or growing their business. They've been neglected by marketing agencies. And once I had the opportunity to get the training and to get my quote from my trainer of how expensive it was, that's when I realized that there's a massive opportunity. Massive opportunity.
Well, and I really hope that you can reach all dog owners, because every dog needs training. And a lot of people don't realize that.
Every dog.
We have to wrap up. And this has been really interesting. Congratulations to you. And congratulations for taking the plunge. It's tough, but hey, you did it. So you are listening to Passage to Profit, the Inventor Show on WOR 710 with Richard Elizabeth Gearhart. Our special guest, Dave Knoll. If you missed any of the show, it's on our YouTube channel and you can see everybody. And it will be a podcast tomorrow. And we have had amazing content, amazing companies. Dave Knoll is so fun to talk to. So please go see the rest of the show. We'll be right back.